Miyamoto Musashi was a Japanese swordsman, philosopher, strategist, and writer. He became renowned through stories of his unique double-bladed swordsmanship and undefeated record in his 61 duels. Imagine fighting 61 times and winning every single time. This man was truly an immense warrior, and we can learn a lot from the way he lived his life and the principles he had. Now, luckily for us, towards the end of his life, he wrote the Dokodo, The Way of Walking Alone, which are 21 guiding principles for life. Now, I'm going to tell you these 21 rules, but keep in mind they're written by an actual samurai, so a lot of them may not make sense to us in our times. I'm also going to give you my take on these rules so you have a better understanding of how we can apply them in our life. Also, as you're going through the video, comment below your favorite rule and tell us why it stood out to you. I'd love to read your thoughts on it. Number 1. Accept everything just the way it is. For a warrior, it doesn't matter how the world is oriented around him. All he knows is that the world is the way it is. This kind of calm acceptance helps us a lot in life when we're going through our battles. Accept the way things are. Don't resist against them. You're only wasting your energy. Number 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. I'm sure if people like Musashi were alive today, they would be horrified at the way we live our lives. There is a certain honor in giving up pleasures for higher pursuits, and we've forgotten that in the modern world. If we just seek pleasure for its own sake, then something inside us starts to hollow out. Maybe that explains the rising popularity of movements like NoFap, fasting, and dopamine detoxes. Number 3. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Partial feelings can lead to indecision, and indecision can kill you in a battle. Number 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. As someone who's interested in philosophy, this is quite possibly my favorite out of these 21 rules. When you look around you, you'll see everyone busy on their phones, trying to hype up their image on social media. We simply think too highly of ourselves. Instead of spending all this time thinking about us, we should spend that time thinking about the world. We'll learn much more when we do that. Number 5. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Desire is the cup that you can never fill. Once you achieve your desires, there will be even more to desire. If you detach from desire itself, you can discover real peace. Of course, when we're young and living in a materialistic world, it's hard to keep this in perspective, but this is a useful rule to remember. Number 6. Do not regret what you've done. Regret is poison. I'm sure you've heard that plenty of times. If you keep regretting everything you've done, you'll never be able to move forward. Moreover, you'll never stay present in the present moment. Number 7. Never be jealous. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't be jealous of other people who you think have more than you, are more talented than you, etc. Walk on your own path. Number 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. To understand this rule, we need some context. Musashi was known as a wandering samurai, so he wouldn't stay in one place for very long. If he had let himself be saddened with every separation, he would be weakened. For people like us nowadays, I'm not sure we can avoid being saddened by separation, but what we can do is learn to accept them as part of life and move on quicker. Number 9. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself or others. Resenting people and complaining about things is just about the most useless thing you can do with your time. It changes absolutely nothing about your situation and makes you weak. Number 10. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Let's talk about lust first. Lust is almost always regarded as a lower vibration emotion by most spiritual traditions and religions. And yet our society nowadays promotes lust more than anything else. The more you detach from lust, the better off you will be. On the other hand, I think love can be a very useful emotion for non-warriors like us, even though it may not be very rational. And that is why I think this point about love might be more relevant to a samurai or a soldier than the average person. Number 11. In all things, have no preferences. Have an open mind, be ready to try all things and desire none. If you always act a certain way, you will never experience anything new. Number 12. be indifferent to where you live. Again, this might be more relevant to a wandering samurai, but there is something important here. A lot of us blame the place we live for lack of opportunities or other things, but more often in life, it's less about where you live and more about how you live that makes the difference. Number 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. This is part of giving up desires. If you only chase the taste of good food, it's obvious you won't always be your healthiest. You should eat to nourish your body and fuel your body. Food should not be entertainment. Fasting really helps with resetting your taste buds and bringing the focus of food back to nutrition. Number 14. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. People become hoarders for things they don't even use. They make it a part of their identity and refuse to give up things they don't use. Let go of this need to hold on to things and be more minimalistic in terms of the things you own. I promise you'll feel lighter and better off if you do that. Number 15. Do not act following customary beliefs. Almost all great thinkers have always been independent thinkers. Don't be afraid to think on your own and come up with your own beliefs. There should be a reason on why you act on your beliefs, and that reason cannot simply be that everyone else is doing it. Number 16. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Of course, he was a samurai, so this makes sense. However, notice the second part of the rule. Don't practice with weapons beyond what is useful. I think this is the mindset of respecting weapons. Weapons are not playthings that you should wield for fun. Only practice so that you are proficient with your weapon, and that's it. Number 17. Do not fear death. If you're afraid of death, you're not going to be a good warrior. A warrior who is afraid of death will never be able to give all of himself in a battle. But think about it more philosophically and you'll realize that everyone does die eventually. So what is the point of fearing death? Sure, don't go out there seeking death, but don't be afraid of it either. Be stoic about death, and paradoxically, it will make your life more enriching. Number 18. Do not seek to possess either goods or fiefs for your old age. You can collect a lot of things throughout your life, but what good will they do for you once you die? Now again, remember he was a wandering samurai, but even for normal people like us, this is a reminder to not be a consumer all the time, only possess and collect what is useful. Number 19. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. This rule is extremely powerful, and you can rephrase this as have faith but take action. I see a lot of people use their religion or law of attraction or whatever as an excuse to not do work. Respect your gods, but always count on yourself to fix anything in your life. If you always keep hoping and praying for the gods to intervene in your life, you will always be disappointed. Number 20. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Honor is the most important thing in a warrior's life, and nowadays we all can use more honorable people. Only do the things that you will be able to live with for the rest of your life. Your honor is your legacy. It is how people will remember you. A big reason why we remember people like Musashi is because of their honor. And number 21, never stray from the way. Never stray from the way of the warrior. Stay on your path and keep doing what you're meant to be doing. If you really stray from your path because of minor inconveniences, then did you really even have any conviction in what you were doing in the first place? So these were Musashi's 21 rules for life. And if you want more practical and a modern spin on rules for life, I highly recommend you watch my video on Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.